Hello, my name is MJ, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at The Rise of the Robots, Technology and the Threat of Mass Unemployment by Martin Ford. In this book, Martin Ford is looking at modern technology like automation and artificial intelligence and asking how it is going to impact the workforce. Unfortunately, it is very likely to be a serious impact on the workforce. We are not going to need as many workers as we currently have. Some estimates put it at about 50% loss of jobs in the next 2 decades, and he was writing this in 2015, so by 2035 we could potentially see about 50% of jobs lost to automation. We might think that a lot of that is going to be lost in kind of traditionally blue collar sectors, and although there is going to be some impact in blue collar work, there is also going to be a significant impact to white collar work. Jobs like accountancy and law are ripe for automation. They follow a series of steps and decision trees, and they can follow logical processes, and it's about applying the information in one document to information in another document, and this is what artificial intelligence is going to be really good at and is already good at. We are still going to have people who work as lawyers and accountants and in various other white-collar professions, but the number of people that are required is just going to go down. The work that was previously done by juniors within an industry is now likely going to be done by artificial intelligence, and what it means is that the stepping stones from high school to university to the workplace is going to become disrupted, and it's going to mean that it's going to be harder to transition once you have a degree in a subject to actually working in that industry. I work in vocational education, and I find this book especially interesting and hoping to help me shape my view of vocational education as a result. And there are a few points at which Martin Ford does actually speak about vocational education. He doesn't see it as the perfect solution, but what he does say is that vocational education can do its part in ensuring that people are skilled for whatever jobs there are available. So yes, we might lose around 50% of the jobs that we currently have in the next 2 decades, but vocational education can try and help people transition from their previous employment to whatever new jobs are available. Those jobs are going to require creative problem solving, and people who are interested in learning and can view a problem from a variety of perspectives. And so it's really important that vocational education doesn't take a narrow focus on its education and say only teach a specific technology, because that technology is going to become out of date pretty quickly. What we need is students who can adapt to a changing world and a changing workplace. So yes, vocational education needs to be able to help people find jobs, but it also needs to help people have the skills to be able to adapt to whatever their job is going to become in the next few years. He also speaks about the impact of MOOCs on higher education and how credentialing can be an avenue for tertiary education to have relevance in the current market. That he sees the kind of reality that there is a lot of information already available for potential students, but the problem is that students still need those qualifications to be able to find a job. I found it a very interesting book, slightly scary in some ways. He offers some suggestions of how politicians can help to alleviate the problem of the large job loss that seems likely to happen. And I guess with many of these things, you just hope that the policymakers are reading these books and seeing these things. As for me, I think that I can play my part by offering relevant vocational education that can get people jobs, and that's where I will focus my efforts. If I was working in a university context, I would be thinking about how I can help students to bridge that gap from studying at a university and be able to find employment on the other side of it. And he's working and writing, especially in the American context, and there it's even more complicated because of the large fees that many of those students are incurring to be able to get those degrees. And unfortunately, there's not always jobs on the other side of that degree. Before, there was a more logical stepping stones to success, and unfortunately for many people, they're now realizing that those stepping stones are getting made further and further apart, and there's fewer people who are managing to get to the other side. All in all, a sobering read. If you have read The Rise of the Robots, please let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'd be keen to hear those. All right, bye for now.